Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another beautiful episode of When It Rays, It Pours. I'm your host, Keith Ray, here with my brother.
I'm John Ray. How's it going?
Well, John, we've got a fucking doozy of a show today, this February 6th, 20 Blackjack, the year of our Lord.
I brought a surprise for you.
Ooh, what do we got here?
We're drinking real champagne this time.
Drinking some real champagne this week.
Prosecco.
Well, you know, I like a $9 Italian, but tell me, what is this? We got like a $26, $27 bottle of French?
Yeah, it's not that bad.
We're Frenching it up?
It's not super expensive, but I know it's an occasion today for you.
Man, is it? Pop that fucking bottle. There we go. February 6th. February 5th at midnight was the end of my 3 years suspended sentence for DUI in the state of California. That's right.
Gotta love that diversion.
That's right, dude. I'm telling you, one little piece of paperwork to file, and I never got a DUI. I'm excited about that, man. Like, I can go to, thank you. I'll take a boots worth of Champipple. That sounds good to me. I'm just excited because, you've been with me on this DUI odyssey since the weekend before I got the motherfucker. I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but I called you up. It was February, or it was November of, 3 years ago. That would have been 2018. So it was February of 17. I called you up and let you know that I had been seeing a young lady who thank you very much. Cheers. To clean records. Whether they
Crystal, Dom Perignon, flute, and a boot.
And a boot.
I'm a seasoned flautist.
If you're not drinking a boot's worth, don't waste my time. The fact of the matter is, I called you up. I was in a bad place. I had been seeing this girl. She was prescribed Xanax, and also kind of her profession was selling Xanax. And I was kind of in a troubled place in my life when it came to the drinking, you know. Some days it was literally like choose to drink or choose to eat, and I was choosing the former, which is a bad fucking move. If you don't have the money to drink, don't drink. That's really what keeps you out of trouble when it comes to drinking. It's a financial thing. You really should only imbibe in alcohol when you're flush, living straight pimp status. You shouldn't be like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to make my bills, but I'm going to get a 12-pack. That's a bad idea. But I was kind of living this whole bohemian alcoholic lifestyle, and I had told my girlfriend at the time that I didn't want to drink anymore, that I'd rather just get off booze completely, but I had a lot of social anxiety, and that was a lot of the reason why I drank, and especially the everyday part of my drinking was just to go out and be a boisterous performer, you know, making new friends in the big city of Los Angeles, you know, and she had told me, well, why don't you just have a Xanax, you know, before we go out, have a Xanax, it'll mellow you out and you won't have to drink. Well, but she was also a drinker. So like after about 2 weeks of me just taking a Xanax, then we started drinking on Xanax in the afternoons before we went out. So I was nice and not
the only thing
anxious.
Worse than abusing benzos with alcohol.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
No, it's dangerous.
And so a couple weeks after that,
let's do a mixture of the two things that can kill you from withdrawals.
Yeah, that's true.
Does heroin kill you from withdrawals? No.
I think it can.
Do benzos and alcohol? Yes.
Really?
No.
Well, I do know that benzos can fuck you up from withdrawal.
Drugs that kill you from withdrawal.
Really? Well, then the thing was, like,
I'm no scientist. But I've watched a lot of Celebrity Rehab back when it was on. So
me and Mom used to pop benzos and watch Celebrity Rehab.
Yeah.
Back
You
in the
don't
day.
watch Celebrity Rehab sober. You watch it while you're doing all the shit they wish they could do.
Yeah, it does. It does make it better. Like you're watching Sizemore, like twitch out, and you're like, "All righty." Why are they're really gonna have Heidi Fleiss on here with you? Your trigger is going to rehab with you. Fucking shout out to Dr. Drew for just exploiting the living shit out of those people. But I'm
trying to help.
I had realized, like, not only was this woman in my life giving me the Xanax because she truly cared about me, and I had enough income to afford both that and alcohol, sometimes sans food, but still, like, it was both profitable for her, and also, when I'm on Xanax, I'm just a very agreeable person, you know? I'd like, if you want to borrow my car for a couple days, and I'm on Xanax, I'm like, man, I will see you and that car I pay to insure on Monday. You know, like, just go ahead, anything goes. I'm like the broad from fucking Indiana Jones 2. Anything goes when I'm on Xanax, you know. And after a couple weeks of doing the Xanax and drinking, I then had pretty much, it was like out of necessity, had to pop an Adderall at around 7:30 in the evening just to be able to stay awake to go out to do sets of stand-up comedy. And I called you up after a very tumultuous, I believe I said that right, tumultuous trip to the airport, which nothing will kill a relationship in Los Angeles like two people jonesing on their way to the airport. And you were like, I told you what cocktail I had pretty much become accustomed to, and I knew that I could stop the Adderall if I just stopped drinking and popping pills. And I knew I knew quitting benzos is one of the most unpleasant things any person can fucking do. Like, we're both from Indiana. We've seen a lot of people. We've known a lot of people that have quit benzos, and I called you up and I asked you about a friend of ours and what he would do when he was trying to come off of benzos. And your advice to me was drink twice as much, and it'll kind of mellow out the negative side effects. But and that was sound
really
advice.
Remember this?
Well, you might have been drunk at the time I called you, to be honest with you. It was definitely a 1 a.m. call, like, hey, I'm quitting
possible.
I'm quitting something in the morning. What can I do to help this fucking yucky feeling not happen?
Oh, yeah, because you were 3 hours behind me, too. So
Yeah.
I was definitely in my cups.
Yeah, it wasn't an early afternoon call when I was like, hey, man, my life's falling apart. I'm on a cocktail of 1 up, 1 down, and every cocktail I can throw down my fucking gullet a day. And you were like, well, just if you're going to quit benzos, you should drink twice as much. And what I heard
Not forever.
Was
just
till you're over the sickness.
Withdrawals. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was sound advice. The only thing is, I didn't realize that if you're going to drink twice as much, you shouldn't leave your home. You shouldn't go out like business as usual. So Monday night rolled around. I went to the fucking Comedy Store. And when I left the Comedy Store, I went and bought 2 12-packs of Bush in the Can, because they were selling 2 12-packs of Bush in the Can for $10 even at the liquor store by where I stayed in California, which was a hell of a deal out there. So I went and bought those 2 12-packs, and I would take those 12-packs to a mic run by some good friends of mine called the Boys Club at this little strip mall off Vine and Sunset. And
The Boys Club?
Boys Club. Like the song by Ween or Weezer. I can't remember. I think it's Ween. It was just a really fun kind of...
So this was in West Hollywood?
It was actually right on the line. La Brea is the line between Hollywood and West Hollywood, and it was on the West Hollywood side of the street. So, yes,
That's
but
why it was called the Boys Club.
no, it was
Boys
it was
Town.
run by three actually very heterosexual young men. The great Rad underscore Milk on Twitter, probably one of the most followed shit posters in the history of the internet. My good friend Daniel Moquin, who is a brilliant kind of a Brian Redband
Nobody's
podcast
gonna know
studio
who
guy.
These people are. We
And
can just
no,
say
yes,
three
absolutely,
friends.
absolutely. And Andy Picaro, one of the finest comedians ever to come out of Pittsburgh. Yeah, no, this was a hot. Anybody who is in the LA comedy scene.
I'm talking about the
will
people
know.
listening to this, Keith.
Well, some of them could very well be people I know out in Los Angeles. You never know who all is listening.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Nate,
I
keep
went to
name
boys.
dropping,
I went to Boys
let's speed
Club.
the story up.
I went to Boys Club. I drank probably the bulk of the beer donation that I had made in the form of these delicious Bush in a can beers. I love them so much. Still do. Got in a car, hit the fucking Burger King drive-thru for a classic chicken sandy and order of French fries. Got on the 101 out towards my place in Sherman Oaks and took it into the wall at 65. So, drank twice as much. By the way, I forgot all about having had quit benzos when I woke up in the fucking drunk tank. So I didn't have to continue on my double daily dosage of drinking after this. But I took off and wrecked the car. It was horrible. That car was beautiful and very special to me, and I fucked that up. And I then pretended to be very hurt from this massive car accident, which did throw me from the driver's seat to the passenger seat because I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And after I was done, pretending to have been seriously hurt, the cops were like, "Okay, dude, you smell like a fucking brewery, and a cheap one." At that, I was like, "Really? With the jokes?" And they're like, "You're lucky we're making jokes. We pick people up like you off the highway all the time. Like, you're a fucking idiot." But I got an attorney.
You ended up in the drunk tank instead of the ER.
Yes, I did. I wound up after I went to the ER for injuries that I did not sustain, I eventually was talked into taking a breathalyzer via some coercion. They essentially told me that if they had to get a warrant to draw my blood, they were gonna take me to the towers, downtown LA, where just walking through the doors of that building is a guaranteed you're gonna get AIDS. Like that's just what happens.
You probably would get shanked
With
like,
an AIDS needle.
Didn't I see this guy in that American History X movie?
Who do I look like from that?
Ethan Suplee before he got swole.
I do not look anything like the fucking fat guy from American History X. I take very serious umbrage with this.
You look fat.
They're just gonna go fat, white guy from fucking American History
X. We all
X.
look the same, man.
I actually saw that guy in traffic one time. Very handsome.
Dude, he's swole up now.
He looked like shit. He looked like shit then, and he was driving around a very bad part of Van Nuys. So I don't think he was living his best life.
He's going to the gym.
But really, I just want to say, like, through all the things I went through as a part of my plea agreement with the state of California, I did learn a lot. I no longer drink and drive.
No, you're very good about it.
I
always Ubering.
I take Ubers if I'm gonna go anywhere when I'm drinking. Otherwise,
you just stay.
I just stay, and that's fine. It's kind of a pain when you're out and you're with. You do lose that whole like let's drink on a whim thing when you are a responsible adult, And I do miss those days. Also, I miss just drinking while driving. Like one time I opened for great comedian Brett Erickson up in Santa Cruz, and me and my buddy picked up a 12-pack of those Bushies and smashed the whole thing from LA to Santa Cruz. And then I got there, had time for one beer and a sandwich, and I was on stage. I mean, that was a perfect day.
Yeah, you used to drink in the car.
Yeah, I used to drink while driving all the time. It was so those days are long behind me, and as far as I can tell, I really just have to make a couple of phone calls Monday morning, and that'll be February 8th, the day after the Super Bowl. But I'll be making that phone call and filing a little paperwork, and I'll be free to work in Canada as a comedian and the UK, which I know, like, if there's one thing I learned from living in California for 5 years, it's that just because people from California can't stand white hicks with loud mouths and bad opinions doesn't mean the people in Canada and the UK are going to feel the same way. I mean,
they might get a kick out of me.
Exactly. Maybe I'll be like a circus animal, like when Patrice O'Neal made it big over there and they all thought they were going to see King Kong, But I digress. Anyway, happy Black History Month, everybody. I know that we got to kick things off. We got to wrap up a little something we talked about in the last episode.
Actually, I think after your DUI story, that's our time. We're at about 57 minutes.
Was that how long it took for me to talk about having a DUI?
I'm just kidding. No, yeah, happy Black History Month.
For sure, dude.
I always thought it sucked that they gave him February, the shortest month.
Yeah, me too.
But it is also an honor because it's the month of our birthday.
Fuck yeah, dude. And it's the month that every couple of years I get the shit beat out of me. I don't know what that is. Been beat up twice in February in the last 3 years.
But, yeah. Also, tomorrow is the Super Bowl.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
people
Chiefs,
out there.
Chiefs against the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that historically great team, the Buccaneers. Well, before we talk anything about that, I do know that we want to name the winners of the Win It, Raise It, Pours Best and Worst of 2020. Best and Worst Dude of 2020. Yeah. John, I believe you have the.
Here are the results.
The results are in, and we're going to start off with the Best Dude of 2020. Let's see here. Sealed results. I like that. Did you steal these envelopes from my room? No, you have your own envelopes? Okay.
Yeah, I always have what I need to have, man. You know better than that.
Okay, and the winner of the Best Person of the Year is Malcolm McDonald.
We're fucked.
Fingers, toes, and dick turned black. This young man's penis fell off, and he threw it in the bin. Kobe.
Yeah, that dude is a savage. Like, your dick falls off, and you just reach down, pick it up, and throw it in the trash.
Throw it in the trash. Not my dick anymore.
And yeah, but he's been walking around for several years with a dick on his arm, and that's hard to beat. To be honest, I was rooting for FBG Duck. I just want to make that clear.
And that is actually mentioned here. There is an honorable mention for Best Dude of 2020. That is FBG Duck. We both were rooting for him.
Oh, you said, you always heard second place is the first loser. I mean, it's still Malcolm McDonald's award, but I really was pulling for Mr. Duck. I mean,
Mr. Duck, to not be pulling for him is
I'm
almost like...
I'm going to get him a plaque anyway. So
we'll get him a plaque. He'll be taken care of. It'll probably will be his first posthumous award. An honorable mention.
I'm going to shoot for him to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
What we're saying is, do not murder us. Because if
anyone in his crew, I lobbied for him the whole time.
Yes.
Trust me.
Just because
the dude's walking around with a dick on his arm. I mean, it's hard to beat.
Nobody wanted to give the best dude of 2020 to a white man during Black History Month.
From England.
But
he is from England. Is that a protected class?
But no, they invented slavery.
No, they didn't invent slavery.
Oh.
The Dutch were the worst about slavery. They had the best ships.
Really? They had the best ships?
Yeah.
Why you got to bring up ships when you know I just spent all this money on a fucking boat? Fucking goddamn money pit, this fucking boat. I swear to God. Ever since I became a rich man.
Well, let's get to the worst.
Ever since I became a rich man, it's like I'm hemorrhaging cash. Ladies and gentlemen, the worst dude of 2020. And the results are, and you are not the father. Worst person of the year. Worst dude of the year. Tom Brady. Fucking duh. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, fuck Tom Brady. Man.
He's a cheater. He's a Wolverine. He's probably the only Wolverine to ever become a cheater.
And
he's a disgrace.
Makes out with his kids on camera.
Well,
this dude's a semi-pedo. I mean, come on.
It's not.
Some people say he might be an android too.
It's not pedophilia if it's your own kid. Just like it's not rape if they're on top. You know what I'm saying? Isn't that no? That might be wrong. I might be wrong.
You might have
on both
learned
of those
those
things.
when you were on benzos.
Okay. I was gonna say I might have actually fucked up with both of those things.
Yeah. But yeah. So speaking of Tom Brady, he is playing in the Super Bowl tomorrow.
Yeah. Of course he's playing in the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. Tom Brady will be there.
Who do you got?
Oh, I want fucking Kansas City to win.
I
love Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is the shit.
Now we can start agreeing on something.
He's got a fantastic head of hair. He doesn't look at all like that kid from Hey Arnold. I don't like those memes. I'm just gonna say right now, I really would like to see not only Tom Brady win or Tom Brady lose the Super Bowl, but I'd like to see him go back and take his ring from a few years ago when he stole the fucking Super Bowl. And I recently saw that fucking know-it-all Trevor Noah on television. I try to avoid his show if at all possible. But I heard him talking shit about how, like, oh, he cheats even when he won the game by, like, was it 50 points or something?
What Trevor Noah has to say about football.
I know, right? Like, fucking stay in your lane, Piers Morgan with a tan.
Not really much of anything he has to say, for one, but especially not when it comes to football. All I care about is I had Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in fantasy football this year, and they led me to back-to-back championships.
Really?
Like they're about to do tomorrow.
Hell
and
yeah.
I rode Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce to several bottles of champagne.
Hell yeah.
Because I won money off that shit.
What's the pool for your...
But that's the thing is Mahomes had the most points in the league. But Kelce really is the MVP because he's a tight end. He had 90 more points than the second place tight end.
Really?
He was more valuable than all but maybe 2 or 3 wide receivers as a tight end. That's unheard of. He had almost 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns. I mean, it's his value over the next best person at his position is way higher than Mahomes because there's a lot of quarterbacks that were just a few points behind him. But, yeah, they won it for me, so I'm rooting for them.
Hell yeah.
I'm not really ever a Chiefs fan, but...
I'm a Chiefs fan when they're playing Tom Brady.
I'm loyal to my boys that win me the paycheck, baby.
Hell yeah. I didn't bet the Super Bowl this year because while I would like to see the Chiefs win, two things. One, there's not a huge payout for the Chiefs to go twice to win again. The payout last time I saw it was pretty not substantial. Like you have to put a lot of money on it to only win a little bit over what you already.
Yeah, if you were gonna bet on the Super Bowl, you would bet on prop bets more than likely.
Exactly, because betting on just the Chiefs to do it again isn't a big payout. And also,
I would bet the over on catches for Travis Kelce, the over probably on yardage for Tyreek Hill. But I mean, you can bet. There was a bet if Tom Brady would have 0.5 over or under 0.5 yards of rushing.
Really?
Because like this year he had a total of like 6 yards rushing. Because like dude can barely move.
Yeah.
But,
so you probably want to bet the under on that.
Yeah, I didn't really put any bets on the Super Bowl, but I'll be rooting for him. I'm probably gonna watch the live podcast along with the game. Put the game on mute because I don't really care about the teams, but I'm definitely for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I just love Mahomes' style. He just seems almost like a more of a threat than a Michael Vick, but kind of more in Michael Vick's lane than like a Peyton Manning or an Archie Manning style quarterback.
Mahomes isn't really a lot like Vic. He's not really a runner.
He's not really a runner, but he can
more
run.
Of a passer.
But he can come out.
Well, he can run better than Peyton Manning or
Tom Brady
Tom Brady ever. He could never run, but
well,
the team they beat last week
he would make some run plays that Peyton Manning never could have made.
But even the team that the Chiefs beat in the 2 weeks ago, Buffalo, their quarterback's a white dude, and he runs way more than Mahomes.
Really?
Yeah, Mahomes is a.
Well, I wasn't making.
Mahomes is more like Aaron Rodgers.
It is Black History Month, but I wasn't saying just because Mahomes is black, he runs a lot like Michael Vick. I'm saying he just is a fast person.
Well, he's
comparatively
not
to other quarterbacks.
I'm telling you, he's not anything like Michael Vick.
He's not fast in comparison to most quarterbacks.
No, a lot of quarterbacks are
faster,
way better runners
than Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean he's not slow, but it's not just the speed that makes you a good runner. Like Cam Newton could run because he's as big as a lot of the defensive players.
So it's more about him being able to push them off.
Aaron Rodgers can scramble and run. Russell Wilson can scramble and run. Mahomes can scramble and run, but they're way better at passing.
Yeah. That's
that's not what they do. Like Lamar Jackson is more like Michael Vick because he runs like a running back. But look, we're getting too much into football. This isn't a sports podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't need to explain the ins and outs of athletics to you.
No, but at least you gave me a couple of prop bets to go place before I leave town tomorrow. I'm going to go deliver tickets and make sure everybody's good to gamble in the ways available to them in East Central Indiana.
If the over-under, if you can get it less than 60, I would go over because I think it will be high scoring, but I wouldn't bet on Patrick Mahomes getting a lot of rushing yards, if that's what you were thinking.
No, but I should bet that.
I would bet
the over on whose rushing yards?
On Travis Kelce's receptions. It'll probably be in the 6 or 7 range, I would think, and I would take over. He's going to get 10 catches probably.
Okay, and then did you say the over on a certain running back's yardage?
I think I said Tyreek Hill's receiving yards, but I don't know. I'd have to see what they were first.
Right on.
That's what I mean. I'm just guessing on what because I haven't looked.
Well, I'll just tell you, ever since I came into this abundance of wealth that they sent me via a prepaid debit card, certified U.S. mail, I got I just like to earn extra money that I didn't, or I like to get extra money I didn't earn. You know, that's why my gambling's way up ever since I got rich. Because I like just throw a little money out there and watch a whole lot come back. It's crazy. It's like capitalism or something.
How many times has that worked out for you?
Every time since I've been stimulized.
So in the past week?
Yeah.
How many times before that?
Oh, I lost lots of money over the years. I mean, I would say on a lifetime of gambling, though, I'm ahead for sure by several $1,000s. So you got to play. You got to play to win. You know,
yeah,
you
I don't
pay
really
to play.
do a lot of gambling.
But
I played the Powerball and the Mega Millions when they get up there real big, but
isn't that it's worth buying the ticket just for the fantasy? Like you just have the most terrific daydreams of like, yeah, buy them a house, pay their house off. They're happy where they are. Fucking buy this, buy that. I'll get her back. You know, I'm gonna get her back when I hit this motherfucking Powerball. You know.
Other than that, I just play poker. But last couple games, I've been fucking killing it on poker.
Well, yeah, you won your rent more than once for the apartment since we got the place playing poker.
Yeah.
It seems like it all sticks to John. Is all I'm saying.
Not always. I lost a lot of money playing poker too, but I usually do okay.
Well, John, I wanted to get to. I believe we have a new segment in honor of our birth month, the Black History Month. Mm-hmm. And do you want to tell the people a little bit about this, or should I give it a bit of an introduction?
No, yeah, it's a new segment just in honor of Black History Month. It's called Black Person of the Week.
Hell
or
yeah.
the BPOTW for short.
So every week, this coming month, we're going to be naming a new Black Person of the Week in honor of Black History Month.
And it's to help with furthering knowledge of Black history, because I know it doesn't get taught real well in school.
Inaccurately.
Yeah, a lot of it. But, yeah, it's no fake news here. We're going to have really lovely, respectable people, and we're going to teach you about them, and they might not be somebody you're real familiar with, because we're not just going to use the hits. Like, it's not just going to be Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, and Frederick Douglass, you know.
Oh, yeah, just your stereotypical,
it's Michelle
like,
Obama,
black,
it's not Barack Obama.
Black, what would you call it? Like a black Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it's the
or
deep,
something less offensive to the environment and Native Americans. But still.
Yeah, it's the deep cuts. We don't got to chisel any mountains.
Okay. We're gonna talk about black people that are of the week and also important to us.
Heroes of mine.
Heroes of you're gonna be picking the people, and I'll just kind of be reacting to your picks, I'm sure, with great delight.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get it started.
This week's
BPOTW is Gary Marshall Scheider.
Gary Marshall Scheider? This is okay.
You're not familiar?
You said deep cuts, not the bottom of the ocean, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
Gary Marshall Scheider, you never heard of him?
Of what fame?
You might know him better as a stage name, Diaper Man.
Okay.
So,
I know exactly who you're talking about. That's the homie right there.
Gary Marshall Scheider grew up in Plainfield, New Jersey.
Okay.
When he was around 10 years old or so, his dad got him and his brothers into playing music, and they would play music with, like, gospel singers. So in Plainfield, there was a barbershop, and Gary would frequent it.
Okay.
And because at the barbershop, they would have young men that were singers would sing doo-wop for the customers while they waited for their haircuts and got their haircuts.
Oh, Oh, okay. So they had like kind of live entertainment right there in the barbershop. That's
is
dope as fuck.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like you go to Supercuts and you're listening to music, but you could be listening to, you know,
Boom,
a little
bapa, doom, bapa,
quartet.
doom, bapa, doom, bapa. I always loved the guy that sings bass in the doo-wop.
Yeah.
You know he got the least amount of pussy, but he had the biggest dick. It's like he's a human too.
Well, he was the most important too because he's the least, you know, least abundant.
Yes. Oh yeah, they're hard to find.
Yeah.
Somebody with a good bass voice. Damn.
So, you know, he grew up in Plainfield, normal life, you know, and started to become late teen in the late 60s. And him and a friend of his moved to Toronto.
Okay.
When they got to Toronto, and there's a, you know, music scene there, club scene there. It's a huge city. A lot of people were moving there to get out of Vietnam.
Okay.
So it's a buzz with a lot of expats from the U.S. and stuff. So they start a band called United Soul.
Okay.
And United Soul, you know, they record a couple songs, you know, a little bit here and there, but they're mostly just playing in the clubs in Toronto, and they're getting a little notoriety.
Okay.
On the local scene. So after one show, they during a show, they're noticed by another American from Plainfield, New Jersey.
Really?
It was the owner of the barbershop where Gary would go and play guitar and sing doo-wop. And that man was George motherfucking Clinton.
Oh, shit. So, first off, George Clinton owned a barbershop?
Dr. Funkenstein. That dude was a hustler. He had his hands in all kinds of shit.
He was the most hustling
He
ass.
had his dreads and all kinds of
fucking
shit. This is before he had
dreads.
dreads.
James Brown ain't got shit on George Clinton's hustle. That man had an imagination for money. To stack it to the ceiling, from the floor to the ceiling in every room of his house. That man was genius for money. So he
takes in Gary and his friend, and then he takes in a few of the other guys from the barbershop that he knew, and forms Parliament, and also forms Funkadelic, which was two separate bands, but almost all the people were on both the bands. But eventually it becomes Parliament Funkadelic or the P-Funk All-Stars.
Yeah. Which we've both seen live before.
Yeah.
Different experiences, but neither here nor there. Diaper Man he's my favorite.
Well, here,
member
let me
of
tell you.
Parliament. I do apologize for not knowing his actual name.
Let me explain it. He isn't the only Diaper Man, but he's the original Diaper Man, and he died as Diaper Man.
Okay.
So, but this is why it was called Diaper Man. Parliament and Funkadelic were known for having super elaborate stage shows. Like, they would have spaceships come down from the rafters, fucking gets out of the spaceship in fucking super high fucking platform shoes. George Clinton as Dr. Funkenstein. Fucking, they'd have all kinds of shit on the stage. They'd have fucking
light shows.
50 people in the band on the stage.
Yeah.
Like 30 singers and 20 musicians. Like, I mean, these motherfuckers put on a show. I mean, I was on stage in the early 2000s, probably 17 years ago. I was on stage with Gary Scheider, Diaper Man.
The original Diaper Man. So he was around all the way up until like post 9/11.
He died in 2010.
Oh wow!
Yeah, from brain and lung cancer.
So if you ever saw P-Funk on like the 25th anniversary show, the silver anniversary show for BET, or if you ever saw them live all the way up until 2010, you saw Gary Scheider as motherfucking Diaper Man. Except for when other people would play Diaper Man, because sometimes Gary Scheider got to take a little time for Gary Scheider.
Yeah.
But like he was straight up in the original Funkadelic and Parliament.
72 to 2010.
Wow. I did not know that.
And he only would take hiatuses if he was in bad health or he took a year off or something. Like,
but you've always...
He was Diaper Man.
You've always seen motherfucking Diaper Man if you see P-Funk. Like, he's the staple. Like, that was part of their thing was, like, yeah, everybody's a singer, but also everybody's a personality. Like, they're characters in a universe that if you have the funk in your soul, like, you are part of that universe too, and you learn them over time. I don't know a lot of the, like you said, there's hundreds of members of P-Funk.
I was as close to him on stage at that concert as me and you right now. That's
wow. Fucking amazing.
Yeah, no, but
like I said, social lubricant that night.
Hennessy and Hypnotics.
The Incredible Hulk? You were hulking it?
And it was VSOP too. At the Music Mill in Keystone.
That's here in Indianapolis.
It was like, fuck. I think they might have been $11 or something, or $7 something. If it was 11, I had 7. If it was 7, I had 11.
Well, tell me what
No, but he's survived by his wife Linda, who also sang in the band. And
did she have a character?
No, just
one of the backup singers.
Yeah, just dressed as whatever. It wasn't ever a character, but yeah, they were married for 32 years, I think, something like that, when he died. But yeah, I mean, 2-time Grammy nominee, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He 2 of his biggest songs that he was the main writer for the music was Cosmic Slop and One Nation Under a Groove.
One Nation Under. If you don't know that song, well, then you don't fucking know the funk.
Yeah. So
this week's Black Person of the Week,
Gary Marshall Scheider.
GMS. R.I.P.
Rest in peace, Diaper Man. We miss you.
All he did. Miss me some Diaper Man, dude. Well, but Diaper Man continues because that's the thing about the funk is the funk
he
goes
has
on.
Been replaced by another guy.
Yes,
since
by another man who dresses in a diaper, naked, on stage, and
the show must go on, man.
The show must go on.
George Clinton's got to pay some bills.
That's the thing about the funk is not only does the show go on, but the funk goes on. The Parliament Funkadelic is more than just a band. It was a rolling party for about 40 years. Would you say it's definitely a longer span than the Dead was a rolling party?
I'd still go see them now, man.
Exactly, but I know that they're not traveling nonstop.
Well,
like
nobody
is right now, of course. But I'm saying I don't think that the funk was going in a nonstop fashion all that way. But from about when they started
whenever they wanted
to the millennium, there's no doubt in my mind that they were just but it wasn't just that they were performing and recording new records and all these things. They were all partying together. Like, I saw an interview with George Clinton where he said that they took acid every day for all of the 70s. And it started in the late 60s, that them taking acid daily. And they stopped taking acid every day around when they found crack. So, like, they had from the Summer of Love to about 83, couple years after Scarface, before They just, I mean, it's a whole nother story. I'm not trying to get into the crack side of things. I'm just saying, when you take acid every day for 14 years, like, that's a party, man. It's not just a band. It's not just one of the best stage shows you could ever see. It's just like a metaphysical vibe that flows in and out of tens of people. It's a fucking revolution. And Gary Scheider was an integral part of that beautiful thing, you know? Fucking diaper baby. R.I.P.
Diaper man.
Diaper man. I'm sorry. What did I say?
You said diaper baby.
I'm sorry. I was confusing it with a porno I watched last night.
I'm trying to make a positive segment, Keith.
I wasn't trying to be negative. I slipped. I didn't mean to say. I'm no disrespect meant at all. No disrespect meant.
This is one of my heroes.
I'm not trying to disrespect the man.
Crack and calling him diaper baby.
I didn't.
Diaper man.
Diaper man.
He is a man.
He is a man. He's a man. Goddamn. In a diaper.
Rest in peace, Gary.
And that concludes this week's
guy.
Black Person of the Week. You want to talk about Marilyn Manson, or can I go take a piss real quick and you tell them? Because I know about Marilyn Manson, and I really have to pee. So if you'd
What do you mean?
we're going to talk about Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson's in the motherfucking news, and I really have to go to the bathroom.
Just
so
pause it.
Do you want me to just pause it?
Yeah. Let's take a break.
We're gonna take a break. All right, okay. We got a few more things to talk about when we come back, but we're gonna pause it real quick. Well, folks, pardon the interruption. I did have to go piss like a fucking elephant. I've got to be honest with you, John. I had a couple of beers after breakfast. You know, I had a good breakfast. No fast food. No fucking McGriddles. I had, you know, the rest of last week's shrimp. And some Whoppers. But only a handful of Whoppers, which they say 13 is 140 calories. So,
Whoppers, the candy?
Yeah, the delicious malted balls covered in chocolate. I had about 8 of those. So probably 100 calories worth of, and 2 big fistfuls of shrimp. But sure, I had a couple of beers after that. I had a couple because I'm rich now and I'm trying to settle into it, you know. And I tried to go buy brand name clothing this week. I tried to.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, you told me how it worked out. I listened to this big fat guy that's awesome named Tim Dillon tell me how they make clothes for fat people. Go get yourself some fat people clothes that are actually nice. And I was like, all right, this sounds great. I see these shoes, these Polo shoes. He's always talking about Polo, the brand for the fat man. He screams about it. I don't understand why he screams so much, but he is very funny. And I was like, well, I'll go try out buying some brand name clothes.
A lot of Polo shit.
So I bought these Polo shoes. And they are very fat friendly. They're like damn near slips, but they do have laces. Here, I'll show you the shoe. I bought these because they say fucking Polo on them, and they've even got 2 different dudes. Not like that fucking sissy expensive shit. Fucking they got 2 guys playing Polo on the side of them. And so I bought these like hell yeah, got some Polo shit, got some fat guy swag. And you were like, this isn't Polo at all. This is U.S. Polo Nation.
Yeah, U.S. Polo Association.
Association.
Something.
Yeah, and so that's not Ralph Lauren at all.
No, not at all.
But then again, I thought that your vest, your like 20 blackjack fucking Eddie Murphy vest was Polo too, and you're like, no, this is Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah, it's got the little flag thing.
Yeah, it's got the little. It looks like you served in the military, but like for a war nobody knows about. You know,
it's just a nice vest. I like it.
It is. I do. I like it too. I was trying to buy some brand name clothes, and I was like, finally. Not only did this dude steer me towards some clothes that are fat friendly, as in like shoes you don't have to tie all the time.
Well, he's saying,
and
like,
but also like
Polo
they were $27.
Polo is like a good brand,
but like $27 shoes, I was like, they're killing the shoe game.
Bigger sizes, like for people like him and you.
Would you say I'm as fat as him, or maybe
probably close,
maybe
probably
fatter?
Similar.
I hope I'm fatter. I hope I'm fatter for his sake because it means more to him to be thinner than me. But either way,
I think he's doing okay.
I fucking love the guy. I fucking love the guy.
Killing it, man.
Yeah, man. One of the funniest.
A lot of money.
He convinced me to buy brand name clothes for the first time in my entire adult life. I think he's got influence. I think the man has influence, frankly.
Even though because like there's other brands that do that. Like they put Polo in their name, but it's called like Beverly Hills Polo Club.
Oh, so it's
and
like,
then people think, oh, that's just a
Ralph Lauren.
That's Ralph Lauren. But he just did a spin-off brand or something, like, because he does have Chaps, which is like cheap.
Like assless chaps.
No, Chaps is a brand it's like the cheaper version.
Oh, like
it's the
like a bunch of cheery old chaps. Like
No,
you're chap.
yeah.
Like you're a chap. I'm a chap.
No, it's
This
Polo
guy.
by Ralph Lauren, and then there's Chaps by Ralph Lauren.
Chaps
is kind of a little bit cheaper version, basically, but it still is actually better than what you got. And
which was a pair of shoes for $27.
they just put the word Polo in their name sneakily, and they dupe idiots like you.
Well, I went and I bought another pair of shoes just to not.
You were
like,
oh, it says Polo on it. They've got horses.
It had a horse with the weird thing you hit the ball. I was like, I don't know anything about polo. I don't know anything about horses. The only thing I know is bet all the long shots until you run out of money. One of them's going to hit and you'll be back in the game. That's all I know about horses. That's how it works every time, by the way, folks. If you're looking to start a career in gambling, remember, advice from me on the subject of gambling is for people who gamble as a hobby, not for people who gamble for a living.
It's like most of what you know, little to nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty low. I'm not. And apparently I know not to buy fucking anything that says polo on it unless I've sent you a picture.
I'll get you some real
on our
polo.
phones.
I'll get you some real polo for your birthday.
There we go. And then I'll be like fresh to death, ready to fucking just slaughter pussy. Just like,
I could get you a Tommy vest like this.
I would fuck with that vest. Although there is part of me that associates wearing
spring is prime vest season.
Don't take this the wrong way, but when I was growing up in East Central Indiana, in the bitter cold outer space of nothingness that was the cornfields and me, I did know a guy who we all kind of assumed had diminished capacity. And part of our assumption was the fact that he always wore a puffy vest. It was not a puffy vest, but I have always kind of associated the puffy vest with diminished capacity. For the folks at home that don't know.
What, you talking about retarded shit?
Yeah, like there's this guy, he was very diminished, and he had a vest all the time. So nobody rocked the vest out in NC because like,
dude, this is like ski wear type shit, man. This is high class. You know how?
But you went black on blue. You went solid blue
dude.
with the black on the blue.
Yeah, I got the full fucking Adidas tracksuit
with the hill figure,
navy blue Adidas.
But you threw the hill figure over the top because is that
1926 Chicago White Sox?
Is that the year that they threw it on purpose?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was earlier.
Is that the gangster ass year? Because
I think it was earlier than that.
I'll tell you, if I was making the equivalent of a construction worker to play professional sports back in those days, and they were like, "Hey, we'll pay you millions of dollars, just don't win." And I would have been like, "Well, I think isn't that really how professional sports
I don't really know.
started?"
I don't even know how to read. Like half the players didn't even know how to read. Of course, they're gonna make that money, man.
Do you remember? Have you ever heard of the Rube? This dude was like one of those guys who played in that era, the early 20th century era, and he, I think his name is Rube Rubenstein, but they called him the Rube because he was a diminished capacity person, and he was a simple person, but he was like a hero firefighter, and like if the fire truck drove by the game, he'd just run off from the game, like just leave the mound and go, "Oh, sure, I'll take it. I'll finish it off." But this guy, the Rube, was just like a big sweetheart, and he was, he was a brute and a ruthless monster all at the same time. But like, he was like a baseball game is not as important as saving people from a burning building. So I've got things to do, and he'd drink beer constantly, always broke from. But you know what made him such a great baseball player was necessity. This man grew up in such savage times that like he literally became a great thrower of a baseball because he'd have to hunt birds with rocks. He'd have to hit a bird with a rock in the sky, knock it out of the air, and then go kill it so that everybody could eat. Like
that's fucked up.
Like, you know how they have this whole exercise fad here in America. You know, people who don't have the willpower to quit fast food the way that I have.
Yeah, you've been doing good.
Throwing down some pizza and some poo-poos, you know, in a sacrificial way to get to a better waistline.
No McGriddles today. Just had shrimp cocktail and candy.
Well, I mean, is that not? It sounds like a.
There are eggs in there. You were off. You could have thrown a couple of eggs in a fucking skillet.
That's true.
It's laziness.
Yeah, I did think about turning the Whoppers into cereal. You ever just have a big bag of candy and you're like, if I just pour all this candy...
There is some buttermilk in there from when we fried that chicken.
I've got milk in there. You know this. I keep my milk and cookies. You know what I'm saying?
Milk and
Black
Whoppers.
History Month, bro. I've got some milk and cookies in this motherfucker.
Where's the cookies and shit? That's one of the fucking best. I love that fucking set. Fucking Bernie Mac.
Honorable mention.
Yeah. Honorable mention behind Gary Scheider, Bernie Mac, Black Person of the Week. Up in this motherfucker.
Them fucking
eyes,
Where's
the cookies and shit?
Where's the cookies and shit? Oh, man. A fuck ain't nothing but 50 pumps.
Bust a nut.
Bust a nut. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
That man worked for a living. You know what I'm saying?
I fucking love Bernie Mac. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac.
Oh, he did.
We miss you.
We fucking miss Bernie. I do miss Bernie Mac. I was watching Bernie Mac with Anthony the other night here at the apartment, and he got to that one where he's talking about like busting up and go to bed, you know? Mm. And then he just like it was an alternative take. It wasn't the one from the big movie that everybody's seen, you know. It was like a deep cut.
It wasn't from the taping.
No, it wasn't from the one that they did. That
somebody taped it.
It was on. It was at Anaheim. It was at Anaheim Convention Center, and he went off on the thing about some of them a bitch, some of them, and he would make some of them a bitch like longer every time he said it, and I was like, damn, like he had so many tricks that were just like, what a beautiful performer and. You know, a hero to me and you.
The biggest, widest eyes, too.
Like I don't want no Ashton Kutcher ass motherfucker marrying my daughter, you know.
Looking through your soul, man.
He made the best Ashton Kutcher film.
I can't even open my eyes up that big.
No.
Ever.
He just seems so sober. So in the Lord.
No, he was
like he was like a vessel from
like
God.
Adderall and cigarettes.
Yeah, a lot of cigarettes.
He
Cigarettes aren't a drug, man. That's just what we do. The cigarettes are just what we do. There are people who don't do cigarettes, and there are people who do cigarettes. And really, if you do cigarettes, that's what you do.
Do heroin, and people that don't do heroin.
That's true.
Nicotine is a drug. Shit, you at least chew
nicotine is a drug. Cigarettes ain't a drug,
from
though.
A gum, man. Don't put the tar in your lungs.
Cigarettes do not
have
get
you ever
you
tried
high.
The gum?
Cigarettes don't get you high. They just allow you to
Kratom.
enjoy your high.
You should try Kratom.
Does Kratom make you quit smoking?
I don't know, but you should just try it.
That's for people trying to get off heroin.
Yeah, fuck it. Test it out. Try it out.
I've done Kratom, but I mean, all I thought was like, let's go get some beers. When we ate a bunch of Kratom down in Galveston because my friend Scotty Peterson and Gerard,
and Steve and Pete,
no,
and
just
Jody
Scotty and Gerard. No, they're the shit. Scotty and Gerard are good dudes. They're the brothers, man. You know, they're the homies.
All 500 of your buddies from.
I have lots of friends,
spot.
John. I'm sorry, I have more. I'm sorry, I lived at a place where I literally lived with like 62 people in the span of 3.5 years. I'm sorry, I lived that life.
Did they give you like food and say if you're ever on a podcast you have to mention me because I just fed you?
No.
Okay, then.
But we did eat together.
My buddy.
We broke a lot of bread together.
Nobody knows who you're talking about. Just say my buddy.
Anyway, so my buddies down in Houston
every
tried
single
it.
person.
My buddies down in Houston
pertinent to the story.
My buddies down in Houston tried it, and they told me about it when I was living on the island, and me and Shannon went and got some and ate that shit. We ate a lot of it. And really, we were just like, let's go get some cigarettes and go to the bar and drink beer. Because it was like, who cares? I hardly even feel this. I've done real drugs.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing is like,
that's me.
We were like, we were trying to mix it into this Diet Dr. Pepper. And I don't know if that fucked it up or what. But maybe Diet Dr. Pepper destroys kratom. I don't know. But I'm not going to fucking just eat scoops of powder. You got to put it in some shit, and you just drink the shit. We're throwing the Dr. Pepper back and forth between these different to-go cups from various days of our life, and pretty much just waiting on mom and dad to go to sleep. So,
I heard about this like DH or D8 THC or some shit that's.
They got a new THC?
Yeah, that's legal.
Like here in Indiana? Like it's legal?
I don't know. It's like, I think 42 states it's legal. I heard it on a podcast, like as their sponsor, Empire. It's like D8. I guess I
don't like it. I don't like the idea of them making
it's like
alternatives.
Well, they're saying
to
it's
the
just
perfect
a different
thing.
They're saying it's like CBD because it's a different compound than actual THC.
Okay.
But it's still natural cannabinoid.
Does it make you high?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
That's the point.
So they got it through because it's like, ha, you don't have a law against this one, motherfucker.
It's not going to take long, though, for them to catch on to it.
Well, I mean, it's too much money. Like, why hold up progress? But we gotta talk about it because I definitely talked about it before we went to break. What the fuck is going on with Marilyn Manson?
Oh, it looks like a lot of women are saying he was into like some satanic stuff and
kinky sex,
like weird sex, and
you don't say.
Just abusive, like hurting them and BDSM and
leather.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Paddles,
All that shit.
whips.
Yeah. All of it.
So you're basically saying that Marilyn Manson was into kinky leather infused bondage and other forms of odd behavior. He was into. He didn't. So you're saying that he doesn't just lay a woman down, huh?
He tied him up and hit him and shock him with shit.
Hit him with a cattle prod, maybe.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like shock him.
Maybe he'd take
taser or stun gun or whatever, shit like that.
Maybe he'd take like an adjustable handle, one that moves.
I think it's like a sex toy that shocks you. That's like they make it, but
like one of those.
Said he did.
Oh no, I dated a girl that had one of these briefcase pussy shockers, and what you do is you open up the briefcase and you plug it into the wall. It's got some weird like 1980s cables that plug into it, and you put it into the wall, right?
And then you hop in the DeLorean.
No. You just plug it into the wall. Then you turn up the dials. It's got dials on it, dude. I'm telling you, like straight up, this is not some shit that we are afraid to share with the Iranians. This is just normal electricity. You just turn it up, and then you hit them in the pussy with this weird looking light bulb, and they're like, "Oh, my clit's all shockety shock," and woo. They freak out and stuff. I never used it on her, but she showed me that she had it.
Yeah, I never messed around with anything like that.
Well, so you're telling me that fucking Marilyn Manson, this guy who's like probably into, I would say he's in the category of like some darker rock and roll. Like he's like not necessarily heavy metal, but he's hard rock with an image that's like, we don't fucking play by anybody's rules.
I mean, I think all of his shit was all partially stick, like
theatrics.
It's a character.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, when you see him in interviews, he's a real person.
But also, I don't think he would come up with that character if he wasn't somewhat like that naturally too. Like, I mean, he has somewhat of an interest in it. I don't think he takes it to the extreme as his music and his persona. But
he was very forthcoming about, like, in his, I think he wrote an autobiography, or at least was a party to a biography that was about him, where he like explained having grown up with, I believe it was his grandfather was addicted to pornography and like watched bestiality porn, or not child. I don't believe it was child porn, but like just various deviant pornographies that were available in reel to reel back then, you know, or fucking Betamax or whatever. I mean, he's a bit older now. He's not 25 anymore. He's not putting titty implants in himself and taking them out 6 months later because he can just bounce back from that.
The actress that first accused him was Evan Rachel Wood, or I think that's it. Evan Rachel Wood.
Evan Rachel Wood?
And when they started dating, he was 38 and she was 19. So that'd be like if I was dating a 19-year-old.
Okay.
But he was a fucking multimillionaire, super rock star. And she was a young 19-year-old actress. But that's why, so like, this one chick he was married to, Dita Von Teese, came out and said that she didn't experience any of the same shit that he was accused of. Rose McGowan, who he dated for like 3 years and was engaged to but never got married, said it never happened to her, but she felt for the women that were coming out and supported them.
Wow. So she went one step. The one chick was like, that never happened to me. I can't believe that was what's going on with him. And then the next chick was like, I would feel bad for you if that did happen to you, but that also never happened to me. and I was another
But
long-term
it's easy
relationship.
to think that, when it's a 38-year-old with a 19-year-old, you're super way more famous than her at the time. He might be able to influence her more than those two people that were already famous and closer to his age, I don't know, but it's just weird that the women he had the longest relationships with. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he did the shit that he was accused of either. He's just a fucking weirdo.
I have only ever heard good things about the guy.
Frankly. Well, you boofed with him. He boofed
you
and you boofed him, right?
I never boofed with...
At the Comedy Store.
That's not true.
You and Manson.
Me and Marilyn Manson never
at the End of the World podcast.
I did not. That's not true. I in fact,
he boofed you and you boofed him. That was the story I heard.
That is not.
Bert Kreischer told me.
First off, Bart Chrysler is not somebody we talk about on this podcast, but I will say I've only ever heard that he's just a really great guy, and he's like super thoughtful, and the reason that he makes the kinds of music that he does is like really to bring about a better world for all of us. And
no, that's what I mean.
Fuck the money, fuck all the bullshit. Like,
I don't
there
think
are artists in this world that really just care about making a product for people that will enhance their lives and make them question their surroundings and live a better life because they're more awake to the world that they live in than they were before they heard it or saw it.
I don't think he's like... I don't take everything from his music literally, and I don't think he's like a Satanist or... I think all that
one of the best.
It's like Alice Cooper. It's like... It's a part of your act. But also, the dude is still a weirdo.
Yeah,
so
man. Like,
that's why I'm saying I could see where if you're attracted to that kind of guy, you're probably into that shit too. Or... I could see him, doing some bad shit.
Say you're
he's weird.
Say you're a relative of ours, one that's never been on the show, never will be. Say you're a person who grew up around the era when the movie American History X came out. Like
you played Edward Norton's best buddy.
I did not play Edward Norton's best buddy in this. I was not the fat guy from American History.
You sang all those bad songs. And
say you were coming of age. You were becoming a sexual being around the time that film came out, and you saw Vicky Valancourt getting fucked all Nazi style. You know what I'm saying? It's hyper violent, hypersexual scene in the film. Yeah, Fairuza. Is it Bulk? You're seeing Fairuza Bulk riding that Nazi dick, with them boots on. And say you had your first wife,
kind of gross.
Like, make love to you every kind of way there ever was. And one day she was like, oh man, he liked that movie. What if I came in here wearing some Nazi regalia? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were to tell me that fucking Marilyn Manson or any family member of ours from that age group, including myself, like, had sex with a girl wearing full Nazi regalia, you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is, like,
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
What are you getting at?
I'm saying he's weird, dude. He fucks like people in his Nazi uniform and shit, probably. Like, I don't know. This dude, what are you going to tell me about Marilyn Manson's sex life that I'm not going to go, yeah, probably. You know what I'm saying?
The whole
just doesn't
point
seem like
is
a bad
whether
guy.
they were willing or not.
Well, I would assume, like, if you're with the guy, he's probably going to be into some kinky stuff.
I don't know.
Walk away.
I think it's pretty... I don't know. It's fairly likely he's a scumbag to me.
Well, we'll let the courts
I know you
decide.
guys...
I didn't boof.
You blew cocaine into his butthole, and he did this.
I fucking
wish.
He
reciprocated to you.
I fucking wish, dude.
And so you had fun.
That would have been a...
You had more fun than these women.
That would have been one more awesome journal entry I can die with.
He was a super nice guy to his guy friends. But he was a fucking hurtful scumbag to his lady friends.
Especially when they were like,
that loved him and made him
13.
centipede
19.
soup in the morning.
19 is also the 13-year-old version of an adult.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I'm not saying
they're 19,
that you shouldn't be allowed to have sex with 19-year-old
they're
women.
19 and they're
obviously you should.
And they love Marilyn Manson. They probably are pretty stupid.
But they're probably the 13-year-old version. They're diminished to 13.
Doobie dum dum. Doobie dum dum.
This guy wrote great songs, but also his covers of songs are good too.
Songs were covers.
A lot of his songs were covers, and they were fucking great. I love his cover of oh god, he did that song, that Buddy Holly song, dude.
I wasn't never into that shit.
Oh, I like that, like early rock and roll, especially the shit that gets redone by punkers. Like punkers will take like
I was never. I'm saying I wasn't into fucking Manson.
Oh, did you ever like Elvis?
Oh, I wasn't into fucking Elvis or Buddy Holly either.
But tell me, so what? You never were into Elvis at all?
Parliament Funkadelic.
I hear that. But did you know that actually Elvis's daughter hates Graceland? I read about it today.
Yeah, she's married Michael Jackson, so what's her fucking...
So she moved to the even bigger
Where's her
Graceland.
credibility at?
Yeah. But
she married a fucking kid toucher.
Well, what she said about Graceland was like she goes there a couple times a year to throw a little party, have some fun with some other rich people in Memphis, the shit you do when you're Lisa Marie Presley, and but she's like, I really don't like the place because the backyard
from Dallas
is like her whole the backyard is just a fucking cemetery of her whole family. And also it has a grave marked for her in it. And she calls it the motherfucking backyard.
So she knows she's just going to be like
she's like
a site at an amusement park, basically.
So, you called it, bro. Listen to this shit. She might be the coolest celebrity child of all time. Because listen to what she said, right? She's like, every time I come back here, I am constantly reminded that, like, that's where I'm going to be buried when I'm dead. That's fucking shitty. I don't like it. It makes me upset, and it's fucking horrible.
And people are going to be paying fucking $15 to walk past your shit.
Exactly.
Every day.
And also, she was also like, this is the best part. She goes, so I probably
but who owns it? Her family?
Yeah, of course. So it's in trust.
So you'll be making money for your family.
But here's what she said. She goes.
Whatever family she has.
But can you imagine the fucking gruesomeness of, like, this is where we're going to have Christmas. And also, that's where you're going to be buried. So remember to look over there where as she put it,
probably
I've got
a spot like that until I've got a spot died, though.
Next to Grandma. That's what she literally said. She's like, I know where I'll be. I'll be right next to Grandma. And it's like, oh, that's.
I don't think they had it sectioned out.
No,
until people died.
No, it's mapped out.
No, I'm saying when she was growing up.
Oh no, there's room for her to put Michael next to her if she wanted to put him there, or whoever the fuck she's married to last. You know how that goes. She's got to live the life of a woman who has a lot of divorces. You married a homosexual.
Yeah, she just made a lot of bad decisions, I think.
Yeah. I mean, this guy.
I'm not going to complain when I'm Elvis's daughter.
No, and she doesn't. But she was just essentially saying.
How did she get brought up on this podcast?
You said you're not a big Elvis guy. Well, let me tell you why Lisa Marie's so fucking awesome. She's like, well, if I don't end up buried next to my grandma, I think I'll just probably have them shrink my head and put it in a glass box right here. And she pointed to this little table in the front room, and she's like, we'll probably get more people to Graceland that way. Which is the whole reason she did the fucking interview in the first place. She just made up a reason to bitch about something that she could talk about to a reporter who would write an article that people who have searched Elvis one time in their life
done without
would
this
read.
Story, man.
Well, that's fine. All I'm saying is, like, dude, she's gonna shrink her head, bro. That's pretty cool. She went full tourist attraction with it. Like, I thought it was pretty funny. You know what I mean?
I think it's retarded.
She married the only person memorable from the Jackson 5. Then, she lived her entire life as the king of rock and roll's daughter. I think now that we know Michael Jackson's a pedophile, we can demote him from king of pop to, I don't know, maybe jester or person with a weird face from rock and roll history. We can promote Elvis to king of pop, and then we can instate Iggy Pop as the king of rock and roll, probably the rightful king of rock and roll.
I think we can erase the last 15 minutes of this podcast.
What the fuck? I don't know.
You're rambling, bro.
Am I rambling?
Hell, I don't give a fuck about Lisa Marie.
I don't know. It was just a story in the news. I was trying to write down some stories from the news that didn't have to do with politics for 1 week. So, anyway, I guess you want to wrap it up? You want to talk about something else?
Oh, no. Whatever you got.
I'm converting to Catholicism.
Okay. And when did this come on?
I don't know. About season 4 of The Sopranos.
Okay.
I just figured.
That's why you got the Prosecco.
Yeah, dude.
Now you're converting from what? What were you before?
Oh, Protestant Christian, end times Christian.
Protestant.
Yeah.
New age Christian.
Not New Age.
Like where
not
they play
new
the
age.
guitar and all that shit.
I mean, I don't play the guitar that well. I can play a power chord. You know, I'm not diminished capacity when it comes to a musical instrument, but I'm gonna be a Catholic now.
So now you're converting to Catholic because of the Sopranos.
Pretty much. And that way I can go to all these funerals you keep telling me about. It sounds like fun.
So what? When's your first confession?
I had to block out some real time.
You got to block out like a few hours. Like that priest is gonna earn his money that day.
September.
Because you got to go your whole life.
September 11th.
It's gonna be like a whole week.
I know. No, that's what I'm saying. It starts on September 11th of this year, 20 Blackjack.
You're going to have to tell Chad Lee you got to take a whole week off.
That's the week that I'm eligible for a vacation.
You got to do 5 8-hour days. You put on the full 4.
I don't even
know.
You might
have to do overtime.
I don't even know where to start. I was thinking maybe go get baptized by like a Baptist minister, wash all my sins away real quick, then run over to the Catholic Church and be like, never sinned. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Does that work?
No, I think you still got to confess.
To everything?
Everything.
So you're talking DUI,
well,
sodomy.
I mean, but you can always wait. And
violence.
You can always wait and do it later, but you're just going to have, it's like paying, you need to try and pay off, it's like paying off a credit card. You got to pay off those sins quick. Like, you don't want the interest.
So, you know how, like, if you don't start a 401k when you're 18, you won't have $1 million by the time you're 60? Like, you could start one with, like, 10 times the money at 30. But if you don't start by the time you're 18, by the time you're 60, you're still in the fucking poorhouse. That's how I feel with my sin. Like, I'm never going to have the time to go tell every little thing I did. You know what? Fuck The Sopranos, dude. I'm never going to watch it again.
I just want
Larry Sanders only. I'm watching Larry Sanders.
Or Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Jewish.
And what else am I going to watch? Deadwood. fuck The Sopranos, dude, and fuck Catholicism, dude. Fuck
No.
papists.
No.
Bunch of child molesting, lottery robbing,
You should
fucking murdering ass.
You should test out
homo killers.
Catholicism.
I don't know.
But
I'm getting pretty mad about having to confess all my sins.
I just want to make sure when you are in the booth, don't make a deposit on the kneeler.
Oh, dude, this is the
because when you're
that's the fucking Pope, bro.
I know when you're in religious
Cancel me, bitch.
I know when you're in religious situations, you have a tendency to get
fucking Pope all over the floor.
You have a tendency to get excited.
Oh, you're gonna bring this up. You're gonna bring up how I got hard one time driving to work. The gospel was on. I mentioned it. You're gonna say, what? Dude, just because I'm trying to find salvation in the bosom of our Lord doesn't mean, oh man, I'm so mad. They want me to tell them everything. They want to know about everything, all the spit.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean, but you don't have to do it all at once. You can spread it out. It's
How
like
much
payments.
The amount of times I've hocked loogies into somebody's daughter's pussy.
You just have to.
I've got to tell them about every single time. I'm
it's like a credit card.
Giving them a good one.
You have to kind of slow down your spending. Like you have to slow down your sinning. So if you owe money on a credit card, you have to quit. You have to quit paying shit off with that credit card and just keep paying on the credit card. Knock it down. So you can just keep. You don't have to do it all at once, and you don't have to do it in chronological order. You can do the big shit first, or you can save the big shit till the end. You just have to do it all before you die. So if you get real sick, motherfucker, you're gonna have to pack that shit in. You're cramming for a test, motherfucker. So you should get the shit, as much shit out as quick as you can. It's only fail safe. Like all the religions are the same. They love the same God, but it's just different versions of it. But Catholicism gives you that get out of jail free card.
I've been rich for like 3 weeks, and I'm going to hell.
Well, just go.
Going to hell, bro. Like, straight, no, there's nothing I can do. There's
put your
nothing
mask on and go to confession and just start knocking them out, dude. Couple a day.
You were just like a week. I was like, yeah, probably a week. And then I was like, nah, not even fucking close. Because, like, you gotta think about all the times I wanted to fuck people's wives and all the times I fucked people's wives. Like,
I never did that.
See, that's something. I don't know if we should get into it this time, but like, it's really the only. Like you remember what we were talking about last week with Robin Hood. You know what I'm saying? People getting together trying to combat the rich. I'll tell you a great way to combat the rich. Fuck their wife. Make you feel real good about being a waiter. That's just a fact I learned. The easy way. But yeah, man. I don't know if I'm going to be a Catholic anymore.
Anytime you do it, you still have to confess because that's premarital sex. Because you're not married, even if you didn't know that she was married to someone else.
I don't know.
So you get off, you get to skate on the adultery part because you didn't know maybe, but you still got to confess the premarital sex.
No, I always knew they were married too because I liked that part of it.
Okay, now, so if you admit that, then now you get more demerits.
But I thought that I was already saved and sanctified in the fucking bosom of Christ. I thought I was saved, man. I was a Protestant, man.
You gotta omit something.
Where we were just like,
no.
Done. As soon as I was like, Jesus, you and me, we get it. As soon as I went like that.
Till that day you had to pull over at the rest stop. Listening to Amazing Grace or whatever.
It was at the IMI building.
At the IMI building.
The Dead Zoo. If you've never been to the IMI building,
looking at a dead polar bear.
there's like
I
50
love you,
dead
God.
animals.
Look at the creatures you created.
This guy's like,
you created them and you created me.
I do all the concrete contracts and I kill animals. That's my heart is made of the stone I pour.
What am
Here at IMI. I'll get me an IMI hat for next episode. They still got them roaming around old Newcastle, I'm sure. Find somebody
Dad used to
down
have
on
a
their
real
lawn.
nice one.
Yeah. Everybody used to rock an IMI hat. It was like that was the company to promote because they were good to their workers. People made money. Yeah. Those days are dead. Now it's just me and people who are focused and hyper motivated that make good money. That's about it.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I guess I'll let you know if I become a Catholic or not. I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
I think
You
I
pretty much
talked him out of it.
Yeah.
It was just one little fact that just
can't do
really
it,
stopped the tracks
I
there.
was so excited to
Pump
be a
your
Catholic.
brakes, brother.
First off, the
Pump
idea
your
of
brakes.
Jesus actually suffering on the cross that you wear around your neck, way
He's
sexier.
like, yeah.
Just
I
like-
said, oh, yeah, you got to confess your sins. All of them? Stop that train. I want to get off. My lady, she's leaving tonight.
I figured if I wore the Catholic crucifix, at least if I ever ran into Marilyn
You
Manson
can still
again,
wear the jewelry.
he could jerk off to it because
As long
the
as you-
suffering of somebody like really turns
Look,
him on.
Keith,
You know
if you
what I
just
mean?
want to wear the tracksuits and the jewelry, you can still do that.
Without being Catholic
Yeah,
and Italian,
you'll still go to hell, but you don't have to actually be Catholic to try and look like a Catholic. Like, I would suggest a St. Christopher medal
That sounds good, man.
because it's different than what most people would wear.
And, you know, it's going to be fun. I hope they serve Shivas in hell. And either way, I'll see you there, brother.
Let's get on Amazon and get some of those medals, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back to my roots.
Amazon medals
St.
and
Christopher medals. I'll get probably rose gold.
I'll buy the scotch. You buy the rose gold. Either
There you
way,
go.
we'll see you another time.
Next time.